Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins. Jan Beekes is down here. You've already met Dan Wheldon, who's substituting for Wally Dallenbach tonight, who is on assignment, and Robbie Floyd is in the pit area substituting for Marty Snyder. I think it was Robin Miller who said during our pre-race that this is one race that you kind of watch with one eye because you're afraid that something is going to happen down there on the track. That's the way it is with me. What's it like for you as a driver? Is it that intense?
Bob, this race is incredible. It's one of those races where you get out the car afterwards and sometimes just check you've got all your limbs in place. It's that crucial. It's you know, you're racing side by side. It speeds in excess of 210, 215 miles an hour, and you're doing that non-stop. So you know you're always expecting the unexpected, and you know, I'm expecting for some fireworks tonight. There's no doubt about that. I just wish I was part of it, but it's great to be with you guys.
The fourth row, Scott Dixon and Wade Cunningham.
And Wade Cunningham is driving my Indianapolis winning car, so I'll be watching him to make sure he doesn't scratch that thing.
And we will not get a start. We will not get a start.
And Alex Tagliani there went very, very early. He did that at Indianapolis, and they were told in the drivers' meeting that, you know, there was a specific starting point, which is around the exit of turn 4, which he really didn't do. And you can see Kanan's right up behind Sato here. He's wanting a good start, and he'll be around the outside. I know Tony loves that outside maneuver.
Oh, a much nicer start. Look at this. Coming down for the green, and we're underway at Texas Motor Speedway.
And it's a great feeling to get the race underway for everybody. I mean, they you know, that apprehension, they just want to get it started. And you can see, you know, people are starting to run side by side and push the envelope. This is going to be intense. And Tagliani has had a fast race car, and he's going to want to get in the lead. It's much easier when you lead this race. But when they run side by side, the pack closes up, and that's when you see the intensity of Texas Motor Speedway. And this is where, when you have teammates around you, that can really help. It makes you feel more comfortable. It makes you feel more confident. And you can push one another.
Oh, there goes Sato. Woo!
I have to say, Sato is one of those guys that, you know, you just have to give a little bit more room for. I've got huge respect for him, but he's got limited experience on ovals. And you can see the sparks coming off the race car from behind. That actually can put you off to start with. When you see the cars on full tanks and all those sparks, it does it. You have to concentrate.
Big lift for Danica.
And that allows Vitor Meira to come up to the inside, going into 3.
And that was some dirty air. She got into some dirty air in the car. Elio Castroneves crossed her bow, and it made her car get loose.
Wow, look at Castroneves going to the outside of a teammate, Briscoe.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't run into another teammate. That wouldn't be good. I'm sure he's been read the riot act from Roger Penske. And what's interesting is you can see Sato and Will Power. They're getting ever so close, and Power's not going to want to push the envelope too much. It's so good to see this. This is, you know, everybody is giving each other a little bit room to start with.
Wow, Sato just got freight trained by his teammate. That's Tony Kanaan on the high side in the KV, and then right behind here comes Scott Dixon.
And did I say the teammates are supposed to work together? Maybe they missed that memo. And there's Marco using his famous high line. He uses that a lot around this racetrack. And that'll be of benefit as the fuel stint goes on. And there's Sato and Power. They're running side by side, and that's allowing the first two to get away. Power's not going to want to see that. Dario is his championship contender that he's fighting with, and
wow,
that's not going to be a good view for him.
Then a good battle for 4th position between Dixon and Power. That's Power to the inside.
And Dixon's been moving through the field. He's, you know, he wasn't really moving as quick as I thought to start with, but now he's on the charge that you expect from Scott Dixon. But Power's not going to make it easy for him. These onboard shots are amazing. It really shows you, for the people that think these tracks are easy flat out, just look at what they're having to deal with.
Kind of an incident between him and Charlie Kimball. You remember they had a bit of a meeting at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago, and there's what happened here.
Oh, that's unbelievable. But it's Texas. So we've got Kanaan and Cunningham right here.
Oh, there's your car.
There's my car. Just go easy on him, Tony. Tony pushed me pretty close at Indianapolis, so I hope he doesn't do that with my car again.
Back to this battle now for the 4th spot.
And I've got to tell you, I'm really impressed with how Sato's hanging up there with the big guys. He he raced hard to start with, and now the race has kind of settled in a little bit. He seems very comfortable running where he's at. But Dario has an incredibly fast race car. To break away at Texas is no mean feat, and he's gonna love looking in his mirror, seeing that gap get bigger and bigger.
And here comes Viso to challenge Cunningham.
Now I'm getting nervous with my car. I mean, I love EJ, but he has. But he made that move cleanly. That was a great move, and he's obviously got a great car. KV have obviously really kind of figured out these 1.5 mile tracks.
Viso moves to 7th position. Cunningham is 8th. Mira 9th. Tony Kanaan is running in 10th position.
And Bob, that's really surprising me. I thought Tony would move to the front much quicker than that, and he's actually dropped back. Sato has definitely got a fast car, but I'd expect for him to be just letting the race play out and thinking how he can make his car better. So when he gets one of those restarts, he can do his famous round the outside moves.
There is Will Power.
Wow.
He's closed that gap.
Yeah.
He has closed that gap.
Here's
now this was the contact that he had with Sato, and if you look closely, the wing bent. And so with that front end plate, Dan, you're saying Sato may have a cut tire.
I'd be very surprised if not. When you make contact with the tire with a wing end plate, it can definitely do some damage to the tire. And guys, it's killing me not being out there. All this action coming into the pits, and you see Frank Keedy is back out in the front of the field.
The Tour de France begins July 2nd here on Versus. And Dan, if you didn't already know it, Jan is quite a fan of cycling, and especially the Tour de France.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look like you're in shape. And, hey, you never know. We could get you in an IndyCar someday.
Do you like cycling?
You know, I'm not a big fan of cycling. I prefer to run, personally.
You know what Wally said? Wally was in the booth. He says, you know what I don't like about cycling? Pedaling.
Simone de Silvestro on pit lane.
And guys, I just want to point out, when Helio made his pit stop, they were telling him to adjust his weight jacker. What we do is we move the weight to the right-hand side to, in effect, give the car more push. That gives you the confidence to really drive the car hard on the in and the out lap. When you're back on track, you have to reset that. You don't want the car to push that much, especially around a track like this. Hey, Robin, I always want to go crazy. I want to get to the front as quick as I can, but I think they're having trouble keeping up with Dario and Will Power's pace. And you can see with the lead Dario's established now, he did a great job on the in and out laps.
Still there.
That's Tony Kanaan.
Clear Kanaan.
And he's not going to want to be lapped. That's definitely not what he's going to want to see. But Dario is setting a scintillating pace, and he's getting through the traffic quicker than anybody. And Bob, you can see as Dario laps more and more cars, it starts to get a little bit more difficult for him. And you saw Kanaan fighting in there. Kanaan's not going to want to go that lap down, and really kind of, made it very, very difficult for Dario, which you should. But now he's got a little bit of space and cleared Kanaan. You can see he's kind of motoring back through the traffic. But definitely, as you move up that field, they're not going to make it easy. That'll be interesting to see, like the splash factor again. We saw that at Indianapolis. The fuel strategy really might come into play at a race like this, particularly with how the race has panned out right now.
So Tagliani did give something up, was actually the slowest on the in-lap, although he was fastest on the way out. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and it becomes very, very important that the in-lap is just as important as the out-lap. And you can see under green conditions, it can make a huge difference to your track position, and you don't want to lose time at all.
I don't know that I've ever seen a race in which a driver is hesitant to go for it.
Yeah, I've never been that way myself, and it doesn't matter. And look at Hildebrand coming in. You can see he's fighting that wheel. He was the first one to stop, and he's making his second stop now.
So much for the caution-free race. We have had a crash involving two cars, Wade Cunningham and Charlie Kimball. You can see both cars are pretty damaged, and of course the one that Cunningham crashed is the winning car for the Indianapolis 500 this year, driven by our colleague here in the booth tonight, Dan Wheldon. We see both drivers out of their cars and okay.
And Bob, this is our first falling out because you jinxed us, and it's my Indianapolis 500 car.
Sorry about that.
And I hate to say this, I really do, but this is a case with two rookies. You've got to be able to read, what somebody's car's doing. Charlie Kimball's car had an obvious push, and Wade just didn't give him any room.
And Charlie Kimball on the radio, first thing he said was the car just pushed up, and he definitely got up and into coming in.
And Jan, you know what? If the car's pushing up, get out of the gas. You don't have to keep the car flat out, especially if you've got a car outside of you.
Dan and I have just already been talking about, do you take tires or do you not? Dan, what's your call?
You know what? If I'm, if I wouldn't. You know, with the amount of laps they have to go, I would go on fuel. And, that's going to be the thing right now. I know you probably disagree with me, right?
Well, it depends who you are. I say if I'm Dario, I don't take tires. If I'm not, I do.
This is going to be so exciting. I can't wait. Again, my palms are sweaty.
I think everyone took tires.
Yeah, and you can see why I'm a driver. You're the engineer. Right there, right there.
He wants the inside, which
he does.
Absolutely. That's an easy choice.
He does that. But I want to see what Power does on this restart. He's not going to want to. He's going to want to stay as close as he can to Dario and try and block Dixon out. And when you get two teammates working together around here, you can literally block the track and not let anybody by. And he's not going to want to see that.
That was something you brought up at our meeting yesterday. You were involved in one of those ones?
You know what? If you run side by side with your teammate, you can.
Yeah.
You know, we've done that before, and it's very difficult to pass. There's always sometimes that brave person that will try and go 3 wide, but you know, you can at a track like this, you can dominate the track and make it very, very hard for others to pass.
And we are under green. Here we go.
And I think they slotted in formation. That was perfect for Dario. Scott is now in behind him, and they can work together and try and check out. I don't think they're going to check out from Power, but it's definitely good for Dario.
Wow, look at this. 3 abreast through turn 2.
And I saw somebody on the apron. I thought it was Ed Carpenter.
Yeah.
Well, coming hard.
J.R. Hildebrand on board with him.
And guys, I got to tell you, this is unbelievable right now. These cars are doing over 200 miles an hour with 4 abreast.
Oh, Tony Kanaan had to hit the grass behind Paul Tracy. Danica Patrick on the low side, and that's Justin Wilson way up high.
Yeah, he's in that 3rd groove plus. And there you see Tony trying to do the fourth lane again. He's trying to go 4 wide.
Is he going to stay there, or is he going to try go high?
I think he's going to sit there for a little bit. He's going to make sure he covers for Dario and keep Power behind him. But you know Scott's going to make a charge soon. And it's going to be very difficult for Power to go around the outside. So he's going to hope Scott Dixon pushes up behind Dario, and then he's going to dive right inside.
Still half a car length.
Tagliani's now joined this group. If Power goes high, this could give Tagliani a shot on the low side. Now he has to go high.
And they're adjusting. I can barely speak. I'm so intent on watching
That's okay. We love it. Now you know what we go through every time they race here.
Every time we're watching you.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. You can see Briscoe, I think it is, and one of the KV cars running very, very close. That's Sato. And that's what the fans wanted to see, the side-by-side racing. But you can see Power. He's desperate to separate these Ganassi cars.
So, does Scott Dixon, is he just hanging in the draft and that's all he has, or does he have anything in reserve?
I think he's got a little bit in reserve. I'm interested. I've noticed that Dario has started to use some overtakes. So he's definitely going to use them on the last lap. But I wouldn't expect Scott to go until the white flag, because he's not going to want Power to get underneath him.
Dario's on the overtake again, Bob.
Here they come to the white flag. One more lap, 1.5 miles of racing in heat number 1.
And it's gonna be hard for Scott, but I guarantee you he's gonna have a go. That boy's a fighter. He's gonna try and go around the high side, entering 3.
Let's see what he does here in turns 3 and 4. He'll look to the high side of Franchitti. But no, there's no room up there either. Off the 4th corner, onto the tri-oval. And, it's going to be a close battle, but it is Dario Franchitti by 5/100ths of a second. Franchitti wins over his teammate by 0.05 seconds, with Power 3rd, Tagliani 4th, and Sato in 5th.
And Jan, you pointed that out. Dixon was definitely working that car and got a little loose coming out of 4. He was trying hard.
And Chip has definitely been very vocal. He does not like this draw.
Yeah.
And so has Dario. Dario wanted the grid to be inverted. He doesn't like the idea of him being at the back and Will Power being up the front, which is absolutely understandable. He wants to win this championship based on performance, and so he's been vocal too.
And there's one of the damaged cars.
And that's a shame. That's the car that won the 100th anniversary of the Indianapolis 500. And I know that Brian Herder's probably cringing right now.
Yeah.
Scott Dixon kept him honest near the end, but Will Power, Dan, certainly he had some speed there as well.
He had some speed there, but he's going to be disappointed that those two Ganassi cars beat him. And I got to tell you, Jan, he looked drained after that race.
Yeah.
He's not going to have long. He's going to want to eat some pasta and, rehydrate a little bit, but he's going to want to beat those Ganassi cars.
By logging on to shophonda.com, Judy won the opportunity to start tonight's race in the IZOD two-seater driven by Mario Andretti.
You can see Mario is on the gas that hard, it was hard to hear her. That's the way Mario Andretti drives.
Let's pick winners. Wheldon.
Oh, I always have to go first on that. I'm confident.
No, it's good to be going first.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I'm going to go for Will Power. You know, the one thing that's surprising to me, Kanaan only has 2 overtakes left. I would put him down. His car lacks a little bit of speed, and he only has those 2 overtakes, so that's why I'm going to go for Power.
I would have picked Power. With 1 to go, but of course I had to pick someone else. I'm going for Castro Neves.
And the green is out. Here we go. Kanaan takes off. Cunningham falls to second.
And Tony got a comfortable start there. I think he was probably happy to see Wade Cunningham alongside him, and he'll slot into that position and hope that he doesn't see that Penske powered car or Will Power coming up behind him. And what's interesting too, we've got the nighttime conditions now. How is that going to change the cars? Typically it gives you that bit more downforce, and I think that's really going to bunch up the field. But Tony's getting away a little bit, but I would expect Will Power to reel him in pretty quickly. Hunter Ray really is, moving forward as well, which that's great for the Andretti Autosport cars. It's pretty intense, but actually not as much side by side as I thought. Oh, maybe
It's pretty intense back there.
Shows you what the driver knows, huh? I need my rookie stripes. You can see Elio Castroneves just desperately trying to move up. He'll be wanting to get with Power, and they'll be wanting to try and work together.
And that's got to be biding time. That's got to be just... Well, I don't know. Look at this. He's getting passed by Conway.
Yeah, I got a feeling he's probably struggling in traffic.
Wow.
Like you talked about. His car's probably set up to be out front, and in the dirty air, he's probably struggling. And I can promise you one thing. Paul Tracy is absolutely not going to give you an inch. He's going to make you work for that pass. And it's unbelievable right now. You can see the cars behind these first 4 racing side by side, and that's allowing these guys to get away. I'm surprised Will Power hasn't committed to try and to pass Tony just yet, but I'm sure he will. It was getting pretty intense there, Jan, through that dogleg. We saw Ryan Briscoe run across the grass, and it's no Texas 2-step back in the pack. It's about a Texas 4-step, in my opinion. And Kanaan is running the exact same lap times Dario was running in the first race. So, that's interesting. They've obviously picked up some speed, probably trimmed some of that drag out to make him faster. And, as you can see, he's spending off Will Power. And I tell you what I want to see, Bob, from that first race. I want to see Jay Howard and Danica Patrick. There was a little bit of tension there. And, I'm not one for controversy, but that'll make for some, interesting watching on TV.
The quote was, "I will chop him."
And she was pretty adamant about that.
Yeah, I think so.
She's definitely got pushed. Yeah, she's got a lot of understeer in that car. You can see the car pushing up towards the wall, and they're increasing the steering lock.
Having to go through the gears. You saw her go down to 4th gear. And then Mike Conway goes to the high side.
That's her team, and you can again hear her lifting out of the power. That's a lot of understeer or a lot of push.
You were saying earlier, if anybody thinks it's easy to run flat out here, not when your car's going off like that.
I don't care what anybody says about these 1.5-mile tracks. They're a challenge. You put 30 competitive cars on the racetrack, and that's a handful at over 210 miles an hour. And guys, they don't look quite as patient as they were in the first race. So that's great for us. It's this is going to be a spectacle. There's you don't have to worry about your car for the second race, and that's why we're seeing some very fraught racing. And that pack has caught the first 4 cars, so it's going to get interesting here. You can see Ryan Hunter-Reay seems to be struggling with his car, pushing up off of the corners, and that's allowed Elio and like I said, the pack to catch up. So it's going to get interesting here in a little bit. And you can see just edged up off the corners to make it more difficult for Will. But these two are going to run each other close, and they're doing that at speeds in excess of 210 miles an hour. You watch as Will's going to try and use the side drop. Oh, just as they come out the pits, there's a lap car, but Will just can't quite complete the pass.
That was Sebastian Saavedra, who is on pit exit.
And what can help Will here is if Helio Castroneves gets right up behind him and helps to push him past
here he comes.
Tony Kanaan. He's completed the pass. And what's happening here with this inverted grid or this grid system, the random draw, is you happen to have got 3 Penske's now in the top 4. Ganassi cars are not going to like that, and Dario certainly isn't. Bob, and I'm going to give you a little driver insight here.
Okay.
What Will's probably going to do is move up a little high on the backstretch. He's going to want Helio to pass, so he's going to try and help him with the draft, and that's what they're going to try and do. Then they can fight it out between themselves. So once Castroneves gets close enough, you'll probably see Will do everything he can to help Castroneves complete the pass.
Okay. National Guard car gets the service, and JR is back in the race.
And he pitted early in the first race, so I don't know if they're making changes or he's struggling again, but they were the first to pit, I believe, in the first race.
Do you want any changes?
No, I don't want any changes. Will you stop talking?
That's the Brazilian in Kanaan right there. I think his engineers will know. As the cars start to understeer, and obviously Ryan Hunter-Reay has a little bit of understeer.
Inside.
You'll see Graham Rahal really try and force the issue and pin him down there. You just got to be careful when you do that, because you saw what happened to Charlie Kimball and Wade Cunningham in that first race when that happens. And Marco, I don't know what it is about Marco in this racetrack, but he loves the high line. You never see him on the low line. Certainly whenever I've been racing with him, you never expect to hear inside Andretti. You always expect to see or hear outside. He's definitely a high line kind of guy in traffic.
Do you know the pattern like that on just about all the major contenders?
Yeah, you do. The more you race in IndyCars and the longer we've been together, each driver has a trait. Marco is very good on cold tires. He's very good on the high line. Will Power runs you very, very close, but tends to be fair. EJ Viso, and I don't mean this in too disrespectful manner, is a little bit unpredictable. There's different things. Dario Franchitti, I always feel very comfortable working with. Scott Dixon, there's a lot of different traits, and that's a huge advantage. The more experience you have to understand that about any given driver, gives you an advantage. And Bob, you're absolutely right. That pit exit is so bumpy, your feet actually come off the floor of the car. So it's at the speeds you're trying to do, you're trying to make up time. You have to make sure that you're on top of your game. And I'm gonna show you guys something here. You can look at Will Power's RPM lights right there. Now that car and engine are working in the perfect range. You'll see he's just keeping on one light. What they do as engineers, they try and keep it within a very small window. The maximum RPM is 10,300, and the minimum you want to drop to is about 9.9. And with those lights, I can tell that that's working in just the range that the Penske team will want the car to be working in. So that's very positive. Dixon has been on a charge the last few laps. He has moved up to a good position, and he's going to be desperate to try and reel in power. I've got to tell you, from lap 57 to 64, Will Power was doing speeds of about 213 miles an hour. So he's definitely fast out front. And this is not what Will Power is going to want to see with Scott Dixon charging. He's got 2 cars in front of him running side by side, and the track is blocked for him. So he's going to want to try and get underneath this 06 car of James Hinchcliffe pretty quickly. And I think once he clears the first car, Bob, he'll be able to kind of move through those guys pretty quickly. And he's cleared Hinchcliffe now, and he'll be looking to get past Wilson, which you can see there's a huge speed difference there. Look how close they get, and I can promise you, in the cockpit, these cars actually feel faster, and it looks a lot closer as well. So it's incredibly intense at this racetrack, and I think with 84 laps gone, people are going to start to really push the envelope on how close they run side by side.
In case you couldn't catch it, they were talking about using that push to pass, and Dan, you can probably talk about how tricky it can get on when you want to use that and how.
Yeah, thanks, Lily. And there's an art to that. You can see here Dario just passing Viso. But as you are approaching a car, if you can utilize the draft, hit that push to pass button, which Honda do a fantastic job of spicing up the racing with, it helps you use that extra momentum and hopefully complete it. If you try and use it side by side, there's really no gain. So it's important to use it at the right time, and it can be critical, especially at a track like this. Bob, and I can feel some of Dario's pain a little bit. This championship is so competitive. There's so much money being spent to make these cars faster that it's kind of unfortunate that he had to start 28. Great for the fans, but these championships are sometimes separated by points. So it's I can feel his frustration, but at the end of the day, the fans are the ones that make this, and they're going to be excited by what they're seeing right now. And looking at Graham Rahal on board, you can see behind Ryan Hunter-Reay that Ryan is moving around a lot to make it extremely difficult for Graham. Graham needs to be able to utilize that draft, get out alongside him, and just kind of pin him down a little bit to.
Blocking your high line at the time. I don't think you get underneath him or not. You're better off with two for sure.
To put Hunter-Reay on edge a little. Just can't quite get close enough, and that's what he's going to need to do to kind of gain that authority and be able to complete the pass. I have to say that Will Power looks very, very strong out front in this race. So that they've made some positive changes, and when you're able to pull away from Scott Dixon, it's you've got something comfortable.
You still have got to get onto pit road. We have seen that races have certainly been won or lost on pit road, and there's still a splash yet to come.
Yeah, absolutely. You can never count a win until you've crossed that checker flag. Look what happened at Indianapolis 500. I mean, it's unbelievable, and we should talk about the competitive nature of this series. These cars are separated by hundreds, so it's a great series to be a part of. This is where it's going to get interesting. Who's going to take tires? We talked about this, Jan, in the first race, and I was completely wrong, so maybe you should tell us what they're going to do.
Ryan Hunter-Reay slides to a stop. Comes to the attention of
and he has to go for a wheel nut. You saw the wheel nut got spun out of the right front, but he was quickly to go to the belt. If you can go for a new wheel nut and still beat the fuel, that was a nice job.
That was an impressive recovery. I'm sure he was thinking, oh, Michael Andretti is going to not like me if I don't get this one quick. Power, the way he's catching traffic, he's able to utilize it in a way. His last lap speed was 213.57 miles an hour. So he's definitely using that traffic and able to extend that lead over Dixon a little bit. Just to point out one thing, you'll see the cars that are coming into pits will dip their left side tires underneath the white line. That's a driver signal to a car following close behind, just to let him know that car's going to be pitting.
Here's Marco Andretti making a stop.
There's no tires.
Yep.
So if I said that in the first race, I'd be okay.
Here's Graham Rahal, and he's in the back.
Whoa!
Wow.
That looked like power. That looked like power ducking underneath them.
Whoa. Let's see who that. Oh my gosh,
power.
It is. It's Will Power.
That's it. That is unbelievable commitment, and that's a driver that's wanting to win a championship.
Boy, it was an incredible miss by Will Power.
And this is intense, guys. This is unbelievable. It's bumpy there, it's slippy. And like I say, that's a guy that was disappointed to finish a runner-up in the championship last year, and he wants to put that right.
Yep. Passing Simone de Silvestro once again.
He's making those other cars look like they're standing still, which is not very confidence-inspiring for the cars being passed.
3 laps to go.
And what's great about these IndyCar races, look how quick Power is, but Dixon's still there. He's still got a shot at this, and he's going to try everything. Power could get held up by some of the lap cars, and Dixon's going to be there to pounce. Dixon's a fighter. He'll never give up until that checkered flag is waving. Bob, let's not think he's won yet. We saw what happened to me at the Indianapolis 500. We're at Texas Motor Speedway. Crazy things happen.
Traffic ahead.
Will Power's going to want this first win. He's going to want it, but let's stay focused on the big picture here.
His car's ahead. Dixon is 1.1 seconds behind.
And Jan, Anna Beatrice is the car I was lapping prior to winning the Indianapolis 500.
Here he comes, though, off of corner number 4. And Will Power is going to win his first career event on an oval in the IZOD IndyCar Series. Iowa Corn Indy 250 presented by Pioneer is green. Here we go.
Wow, Danica just didn't get on the power.
And J.R. Hildebrand, he got on the power and got very, very loose as he exited turn 4. It's these cool conditions that are way different than what we've seen, you know, leading into the race.
Tony Kanaan has jumped into second position as we go on board Will Power, who's in 5th.
And you can see on board that they're probably being a little bit cautious. The temperature, you know, tends to make the tires come in a lot slower. And we've seen at this race before with cool temperatures, people spinning on the first lap. Me being one of them, I have to say.
Scott Dixon up to 19th from 23rd.
And you can see him. He's aggressive. He's confident. And, you know, he was running the high line in the warm-up. Not many people were doing that. And you can see it's working out for him, driving right by Alex Tagliani.
Now getting to the high side of Tagliani.
Couldn't quite pull off that move like Scott Dixon did. It's very, very difficult. Oh, and you can see Dario.
Wow.
Dario's moved up on the 2KV Racing Technologies cars, and again, very, very aggressive. Likes to be leading, and seems like he has a very, very good race car right now. And that's Iowa racing at its best. 3 wide. We're only 6 laps into this, and you know, Dario showing that he is taking no prisoners. Wants to lead, and you know, was great in warm-up too. And you can see very, very confident in that race car. And you saw that, Bob. James Hinchcliffe just came up into Ryan Briscoe's air, and it made Ryan just push up the track. You can see Ryan's got a good race car, but when cars move around, it's very difficult to stay flat out, which is very important around this track to complete an overtaking maneuver. But you know, I'm surprised we got an incident so early on. I thought the race would kind of play out a little bit more before this, but certainly going to spice up the racing. There'll be some action in the pits.
Didn't appear to damage the car all that much.
It was across the bump, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, he did.
Thing just jumped.
And that's what happens when you go across that bump. The car gets unstable. But look, he's in dirty air. When you're amongst other cars, that problem gets accentuated, and you could see that, you know, he went over the bump in dirty air. He lost the rear of the car and spun around and hit the wall. And when like, Jan, when you watch that, you can see the cars here snap very, very quickly. This is a bullring type track. The radius of the corners are very tight. You add that bump to turn 1 and 2, and it makes it a handful. These cars are not easy to drive around this racetrack.
But definite, as Kevin was saying, severe damage up there. If it's only the nose cone, they may be able to get it done and not lose a lap.
And that's going to be important right now. And, you know, the Penske guys are one of the best in the business at getting these changes done. So we'll have to see if he gets out before he goes lap down.
But no, that you don't want to wave your driver if you know the position in Charlie Kimball. Now, Charlie Kimball was in the fast lane, though, wasn't he? He should have been one more lane down since he was coming into his pit.
He should have been, and, you know, he wasn't. He didn't have anybody around him. You know, that's not really to say he should be doing that, but it's definitely the fault of the person pulling out Will Power. And look at Helio Castroneves.
Whoa, there he goes.
Of his teammate. That was an impressive move. He was committed from the get-go. And Dario definitely looks very strong, very early on the run. He's got great confidence in that car. These cool conditions aren't affecting how he gets up to speed. He seems much better than anybody else. And there's Serbia.
Yeah.
And we're on board with Ryan Briscoe. Again, when he's behind other cars, you see the amount of steering lock he puts in. That's because the car is pushing. And you can see when a car is outside, the car on the inside, the radius becomes very tight, particularly at 1 and 2 over that bump. It's very hard to not push up into that car, and that's why you see people completing the moves on the outside, not the inside. And there's Helio working that outside line again. Very, very good up there. His car seems to be stable. It's not moving around. The bump is a little bit better on the high line, but it's just difficult to complete that move when you're up against somebody that's running at similar speed to you. And here's Serbia. He's on the move again. You know, he likes that outside lane. He was strong at Milwaukee, and, you know, look at him pushing and really pressuring Sato, going down the inside into turn 1 here. And Mike Conway's really had a tough time of it since Indianapolis. He had a lot of momentum going in there, but just it's not fallen his way. And you can really see when the cars get amongst traffic, you know, they really move around a lot more over those bumps. Turn 3 and 4 here has a way of feeling like the track drops away from you, and that outside tire almost feels like it's running in the rain a little. It just slides. And it's a very difficult view, but I've got to say, guys, I think probably Conway was trying to get underneath Anna Beatrice, hit the bump. She was probably pinning him down, and they got into one another. You've got to give the guy room or girl room on the inside when you're trying to get around the outside of them. And I think that really goes to show you, when you see that debris coming off the car, how fast we're going around this short racetrack. I mean, when you consider we're averaging about 177 miles an hour, it's pretty impressive. And there's Marco. He's Mr. King of the High Line. And around here, if you can get that working for you, that is a great place to pass, because it makes you less vulnerable. When you're tight on the inside, the cars can pin you down. That's when you have to get back out of the power. But let's go down to Robin. And Bob, I'd be interesting to see. Dario was very good on the initial starts. We saw at Milwaukee that Dario was good on a short run, but as on the long run, it was Kanaan. Yep. Now, is that going to happen tonight? I think it's going to be very interesting, because I think that can be the case. I stood at turn 1 and turn 2 at the warm-up, and Kanaan did lap after lap after lap. And speaking to the Ganassi guys, they think that's their biggest competition tonight. Now, typically, if there's a problem with the toe, you'll notice it on the onboard. We as drivers, we like to run the wheel slightly to the right. And I noticed that Will Powers was dead straight. When you run it dead straight, you kind of cross your arms in this kind of racetrack, because it's such a tight radius. So be interesting to see when we come back.
Yeah, just going to have to work to get it off. I'll be fine.
So, Bob, what he's saying there, they'd done a few laps before it went yellow, so the tire temperatures were up. Now, when they have to do a restart and they haven't got new tires on, as we look at Michael here, his boss and dad,
right?
You know, they have to work the tires very hard to clean them up, and that's what Marco was talking about. He's typically very, very aggressive on the initial lap, so he should clean up his tires pretty quickly. But you might see cars skate around because of, you know, the debris that they've picked up, or I shouldn't say debris, the dirt.
Yeah, right.
It's because the saying is yellow breeds yellow, so they're thinking there's going to be more.
And absolutely, it does around this racetrack with these cool conditions. Another thing that I'm noticing is Scott Dixon is already up to 8th position. He's going to be happy with that, considering where he started. Dario got a great restart again. Obviously, you know, racing with somebody he's comfortable with, Tony Kanaan. Tony slotted right in behind, and you know, Elio's going to be trying to get to the front real quick as you see him go for that low line. Tony's not going to give it up easy. He's a racer, but you know, Castro Neves has obviously got a quick race car and completes the pass. And you see Marco move right up to get in the draft of Castro Neves to help him complete that pass, and he does that very well. I got to tell you, Castro Neves is going to want to attack Dario. Penske are going to be seeing this situation.
Whoa! Hildebrand and Briscoe.
Guys, that's why IndyCar racing is what it is. It's so close. We're doing this at high speeds, and it's fun to watch.
At this racetrack, 4,600 pounds of downforce.
Jan, and I got to tell you, this racetrack is very, very physical. The amount of weight that goes through that steering, it's incredibly hard to turn. It's not like your road car at home where you've got your power steering. It is a workout in itself, and you'll see some people's arms fatigue towards the end of the race. Not these guys up front.
Your maximum is 4.5 Gs. That's why the steering load is so high.
Man.
And who said IndyCar drivers aren't athletes?
Yeah,
this
really.
is exactly why.
Yep. Another tire going down for Elio, just like last week at Milwaukee.
And that's cool luck right there. Obviously a fast race car, but you know what? With the way the yellows work, he can get the laps back. But Jan, he's going to lose a couple, correct?
Wow, that is just really bad fortune.
And Bob, when the luck's not going your way, it just seems to snowball.
Yeah.
He really has, you know, had some fast race cars the last couple of races, but it just doesn't work for him. But don't count him out just yet. And you can see, Bob, he just uses pretty much the high line through turns 1 and 2. Obviously, the car feels much more comfortable up there. You know, that's going to give him the opportunity to overtake, but you don't really see him on the low line. And doing that extra distance is going to slow him down just that little bit. And speaking to him, he was very confident after the warm-up. And like I say, the momentum, like it's not going for Elio, it really seems to be going for Oriol Servia. It just got loose over that bump. And when it snaps here, you know, it's very hard to recover. It snapped very quickly. Huge hit.
Watch this.
And listen.
Outside. Outside. Clear.
You know, what you saw there was he was overtaking Vitor Meira. He was going in on a tighter line, and over that bump, it just snapped. He got out of the power, but unfortunately for Will, he hit at the worst possible angle. You know, he had a back injury, and he hit gearbox first, and that puts a lot of the impact through your lower back. Hopefully he'll be okay. And I don't think we'll be talking about you know, the pit situation that we had at Milwaukee. Dario has an easy in now because of Will's exit of the race, and Scott Dixon has that easy out.
Why do they have to bring these sweepers out every time there's a yellow? Well, there's a very good reason for that, Dan.
Yeah, there's a huge marble buildup, and you know, also with the debris, Firestone do an absolutely fantastic job with the tire. But when you have a big incident like this, the shards of carbon can cut those tires very, very quickly, and the safety team do a great job of making the track safe for the drivers.
Go ahead.
Sorry, and that's one thing. Like I say, I've touched on Firestone before. They do a phenomenal job of constantly improving the tire.
So you're right, Dan. Don't count them out.
Yep.
Yeah, you can never count a Penske car out. And Helio Castroneves, he will never give up. He had a great car early on in the race, and I would expect him. He's got plenty of laps to get back to the front. I would expect him to get there, I have to be honest. And I think the cooler conditions are going to close the field up. You get more downforce. It makes the car easier to drive, and you can see here a little bit of movement as they line up.
Now what you're talking about, Dan, was J.R. Hildebrand. As they're weaving, people jam on the brakes and then accelerate. And whoop.
Yeah,
Look out.
That was, he didn't expect that. And again, Dario gets a great jump. He's in the comfortable position. He's not having to fight with anybody. Kanan's on the outside of Sato.
Yeah, Sato is showing some muscle here.
And Kanan said he had nothing for Dario. Sato thinks just the opposite. Yeah. He's going. He's going. Tony's car's obviously working pretty well, can run pretty close. You see him just get out of the power a little bit, the car pushing in that dirty air. Over that bump, you hear him lift out the power. Often the car bottoms a little bit on the first few laps until the tire temperatures get up, and just lift that ride height a little. Once that happens, then you're able to drive over that bump flat out.
Next time he comes in, they're going to adjust the tire pressures to see if that helps. You see Dixon right in front of rookie J.R. Hildebrand.
And what you do when you raise the tire pressures, you in effect raise the ride height of the race car. That means he'll be able to get over the bump without the bottoming. And you know, sorry, Bob, I keep...
That's okay.
What Dixon is very good at, he's very good at analyzing what his car does. And early on in the race, he'll be making changes to make it good for the end. And you see Marco on the outside of Tony Kanaan. And Jan, like you said, the yellows breed yellows, and this is just the track for that.
Only been 20 laps since they pitted, so we'll have the same scenario, 50-50. Some will, some won't.
Typically, it'll be the opposite of what I say. You're the man at that. That's why I drive the race car, because I definitely get that wrong every time.
Same place. Same place.
Yep.
This track will bite you, and you know, again, he hit at a bad angle with the rear of the car first, and you know, that's the last possible place you want to hit.
Oh, you can see all the sparks. Was that enough sparks to where something could have broken? Because there was a lot of sparks.
Yeah, and I think you might be right. I think something may have broke.
We'll back it up to the... If there was sparks before it goes sideways and it continues to spark, that often is an indicator that something's broken. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a close one. And this Jan, the Homacho safety team, they do a fantastic job. As drivers, you want to know you've got people surrounding you that care and are very competent and do a great job. And they're there sometimes before the car even stops. We as drivers know these guys on a personal level and appreciate everything they do.
Hey, Dan Wheldon, did you ever hit a wall that was all concrete? Because I think Jan broke his pelvis hitting a real wall at Michigan once.
Yeah, I've hit a few walls in my time, there's no doubt about it. And I think some people tell me they knocked some sense into me. But yeah, it's a huge safety improvement, and it definitely reduces the impact. And this series should be commended for, and the tracks, for putting these safer barriers or safer walls, you know, at the tracks that we race at. And you can see Sebastian is very shaken up. Yeah. I mean, these IndyCars, when we hit at the speeds we do, you know, it really takes your breath away. There's that adrenaline initially, and then, you know, when you get to think about it, it can be incredibly painful. And it's always very difficult when you're in a one-car team. He's inexperienced, he doesn't have, you know, the information from an experienced second guy or girl in that team, and it makes it very, very hard to learn. The competition level in this series right now is as intense as it's ever been. And guys, while we're looking, we can see Dario there, Takuma Sato in second, and Kanaan in third. I gotta say, I love the way Takuma Sato's attacking the race. Yeah. He is really going for it. It's great to see, you know, on those initial laps. I don't know if you've noticed it, but that car is sliding a little bit on the rear end. He's really going for it.
It's one more, and he's going to learn a lesson that he will never forget.
Oh. That's some great team chemistry right there, huh? And the two KB cars are side by side, guys. What's going to happen? We know that there's a little bit of friction there. Sato seemed comfortable on the outside and clears Tony. Is he going to attack Dario? I think he is. Yeah, high side Marco. He loves that outside. Couldn't get alongside Tony, but on these restarts, he is fantastic getting up to speed quickly. And here's Alex Tagliani. He has been strong today. Moved up to 7th, and he's challenging Scott Dixon on the outside right now. And he should just about clear Scott. Yep. Yes, he did. And Scott's going to be under pressure from Oriel on that outside line. And see, the problem, guys, when you get pinned on that inside, it just, you can't carry the momentum. So Scott's really going to have to, you know, make his car work. He'll be using that weight jacker to make the car rotate for him and not have any push, so he doesn't have to get out of the power.
7 by 3, working that high line.
He really likes that outside groove. As I say that, he's kind of moved to the inside, but back on that outside, he seems to be able to carry a lot of momentum through the corners, and you know, he's wanting to work to the front. There you see Hildebrand closing up on Marco a little bit.
And he's on overtake as well, so Hildebrand's going after him.
You know, the intensity of this race, it's that little bull ring. People are on their overtakes. There's people on your outside, people on your inside. It's just a fantastic racetrack and promotes a really good race. And look at Kanaan.
Look at the lead.
Kanaan's looking to try and get back by Sato, and it's cost him a spot potentially. Marco's on the inside of him.
Oh, there you go. So close in turn 1, and Marco gets the spot.
And Tony will definitely be complaining about that. Marco really committed to the inside and said to Tony, hey, I'm not giving you any room. I'm coming through.
They were both on the overtakes. They said, take that, former teammate. Oh, and here comes Hildebrand to the inside.
Nearly touched wheels there as Hildebrand came up. Man. My palms are sweating again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, JR's had to lift big time.
And guys, you saw exactly what happened there. Tony crossed JR's bow, and it made his car push on up. And hopefully for him, he won't lose the momentum where another car gets in from behind. And that's unbelievable. Brian Briscoe is the lead Penske car in 10th place, and he's being attacked by Hinchcliffe. Castro Neves is now 16th, and you know, Hinchcliffe is he's not giving up. He's trying hard. And I think James Hinchcliffe is doing a fantastic job as a rookie. He's in a blessed position. He's got Oriol Servia, great teammate, a wealth of experience. You know, feels very comfortable in that environment, and that's really helping James.
Once again, really close between Hildebrand and Kanaan.
And that really took the air off of Hildebrand.
Guys, Tony's definitely not giving Hildebrand much room. There's no doubt about it.
He really squeezed him down on that yellow line.
Marco's still working that high line. Dario hasn't been able to break away as much as I thought, but, you know, seems pretty comfortable up the front.
Now he'll try the inside.
Oh, great move.
Whoa!
Great move. Great commitment from Marco. Fantastic. He got by Tony in a very aggressive way, but clean, and he did the same to Sato, and Sato was great to give him room.
So Servia's left this group. They fight amongst themselves. Danica, oh, she had to lift, and Briscoe goes to the high side.
And that was great opportunistic driving from Briscoe. Saw that, and that's a guy that kind of read that situation fantastically. Really, really good driving there from Ryan Briscoe. Guys, that's getting close.
Look at Marco, though. Really Marco's got to run.
He's got
and
a
he's
good...
going to the inside.
Whoa, for the lead.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he downshifted, and can he complete it?
I think he's got position.
Man, this is good stuff, huh?
This is fantastic racing. It's great for Andretti Autosport. They're leading now. And it's great for Marco. This is the natural, talented Marco that I expect to see weekend in, weekend out. Guys, and I've got to tell you, Dario Franchitti is going to know that Will Power's out of the race. He's going to know that Marco's desperate to win. And that's something that he's going to take into consideration.
Yep. Yeah, he won't take the same level of risk that he might otherwise, but right now he's not letting him get away.
He's not letting him get away, but he knows. Marco's a very, very clean race car driver. He's desperate to win, though.
Yeah,
So's Andretti Autosport. Michael actually talks on Marco's radio, and so they're going to be excited.
Here he comes.
Look at Dario.
Here he comes to the inside, and he's going to get the lead back.
Hey, and who said Dario's not hungry for wins? This is an experienced guy, great motivation, doing a fantastic job. Really, really great to see. But you know what's great? They're racing each other clean. These two are probably racing each other cleaner than the two teammates behind them, Tony Kanaan and Takuma Sato.
Good point. Good point.
Guys, this is where it's going to get really interesting as you start to get through lapped cars. There's Hildebrand on the inside of Lloyd. And a lot of people give Marco a hard time, but when you race against him, you can really see his true natural talent. You know, when he races in the damp and you're on slicks, there's a guy that comes to the front. I remember back in St. Pete a couple of years ago, the race was damp. We all started on slicks, and he was phenomenal. But you can see he's closed up again, and he's desperate.
Oh, here he comes.
He's looking on the inside. He's looking at Dario's giving him room.
Yeah.
Had to lift it.
That was nice.
It's so close around here. It's unbelievable.
Slower car up ahead. That's Viso, who just came out of the pits.
Oh, and it's going to get close. This is going to get close. Oh, Marco just pushes up. Dario is he's very aggressive, though. When you consider that Will Power's out of the race, he's still pushing the envelope. What's great is he knows, and he's pitting.
Yep. Right of your screen.
Really
broke loose once again.
The exit of turn 2, that's biting everybody. But such a shame for KV Racing Technology. You know, their cars have been fast these last couple of races, and man, oh man, happened to Tony Kanaan. I think two years consecutively.
3, actually.
3.
Yep.
Ryan Briscoe really deserves the luck to go his way. He's had a couple of unlucky breaks this season, and he'll want to make the most of this. And I'm going to go down to Kevin. It's a shame. When you're on the lead lap, though, round here, anything can happen. We've seen cautions breeding cautions, and I expect the same. The racing has been so intense. We've got about 60 laps to go, so you know, people are going to stop giving the room that they're giving. But I've got to tell you, there's not much giving out there right now. So
that's right.
It's going to be interesting.
Here's Marco Andretti pulling ahead of Franchitti. There is no start.
Pulling ahead a little early.
He was excited. He wants to hold on to that lead. He definitely wants to hold on to that lead. I think he knows that, you know, there's 51 laps left. If Dario gets in front, he's going to be difficult to get by.
He got away with it that time.
Yep.
And Kanaan's inside Dario. It's tight. And Servia's up there too.
Servia going around the outside. And Servia couldn't hold it, ended up losing a spot.
He's actually a lap down. So you've got Briscoe. Now he's attacking Dario.
He would be because of all that time he spent on pit lane.
Yep.
And he's just dived inside Ryan Briscoe there, and you've got Scott Dixon and J.R. Hildebrand racing pretty hard behind them, and J.R. up the inside into turn 1. No love lost between these two, but Tony takes it, and Tony said earlier on in the race he had nothing for Dario. He looks like he's got something now.
For Marco, anyway.
He's probably thankful that his teammates are okay, but out of the race. They were having some problems racing each other. Now he can just focus on himself, focus on leading, and you know, these three are going to duke it out. And I can promise you one thing about Tony. He'll remember how aggressively Marco passed him. He won't forget that. And Marco can't quite get alongside Tony enough to pin him down on the low line. That means that Tony can dictate where he wants to be on the racetrack. And then Marco looking inside. I think he's going to pull this off. Yes, he does. Great move by Marco.
Marco goes back to the lead.
Marco definitely has a great race car in traffic. Is he quick enough out front? I'm just not sure about that yet, but right now he's holding off Tony.
Nope, not this time.
And Marco was nicer. He definitely gave Tony room. He could have come across the bow, but that's allowed for Dario to sneak up the inside of Tony. Can he get it? And this is all happening at an average lap speed of about 177 miles an hour. How incredible is that? And you notice Tony has tightened up his line a little bit now. His car's obviously working well, but he's going to try and shorten that track distance, and that's going to make it a little bit harder for Tony. Their lap times will probably increase a little bit because they're not covering that same distance as well. It's kind of calmed down a bit right now, but you're just waiting for Marco to attack again. And you can see he's able to run close, and he's probably going to have a good run here. Tony blocking a little bit, or hugging the inside, I should say, right now. Marco keeps trying to get to the outside. His car's obviously working well, but, you know, Tony has really tightened up his line. And Marco's working that high line, but he just can't draw alongside him enough, like I say, to pin Tony down. You see Tony as he goes up, he just moves up a little bit in one to make it more difficult for Marco. Tony's very, very sneaky. There's a couple of times he's crossed the bow of Marco's car and made Marco shoot up the track. You know, there's no love lost between these two. And Marco gets right. It's a great move. Wow, fantastic.
He surprised him.
He's on the overtake. Oh, almost locking wheels.
And Marco's not going to give him any room, and I think he's going to be able to complete the pass.
He's got the inside line, and
Marco's keeping him high.
That was a great bit of driving by Marco Andretti. He just waited and waited and just attacked at the perfect moment.
Meanwhile, Scott Dixon back there in third spot, not too far behind it. Here comes Kanan again to the inside.
Why was Marco leaving the door open? I wanted to push him down the track, but you know, this is allowing Scott Dixon to catch up too. And that's exactly what Scott has not been, and Dario have not been able to keep up with these two. So seeing that space now, he's going to be able to have a cleaner run behind Tony, pick up that draft, and hopefully for Marco, he'll be able to see those two dice it out. But I don't think we're done with Tony just yet. Now, if I was Michael Andretti, I'd be watching this and saying, Marco, get down. Don't give Tony the inside. Make it difficult for him, because when he can get alongside you, you know, that's when you're going to lose the spot. Guys, you can see Marco leaves enough room for Tony to be able to kind of run flat out behind him, particularly in 3 and 4. In turns 1 and 2, Tony likes the high line, but it really enables him to get a run. Marco has 9 overtakes left to Tony's 7. This is going to kind of become a strategy. Honda have done a great job in spicing up the racing a little bit more, and this is going to spice it up.
Tony's on the button. Tony's on the button. He's burned one more of them.
And it's close between these two, and again, they've broken away from Scott Dixon.
Oh, a good run now by Kanan. Does he have room to the inside? Nope.
Wow, and that has really broken the momentum for Tony Kanan. That may be the move of the race. Does he have enough time to regroup? Because here comes Dixon.
And I hate to say this. That was a little bit of payback, I think, Marco. You know, Tony chopped, crossed the bow, I should say, aggressively of Marco on a couple of occasions, and he probably remembered that. And that was maybe payback. And it's difficult for them to catch him now. Marco's constantly on the overtake. You can see it gliding up. So, you know,
watch him flick off.
It's going to be difficult for Tony to close this gap. Guys, I'm excited for the finish. I'm excited for the post-race interviews, too. There's going to be some fireworks.
They're side by side.
And you saw that Briscoe couldn't hold the car down and had to lift. He had a good run on Dario. Dario gave him room, but he just didn't have enough to be able to stay flat out. Not quite happy with the car to complete the maneuver. But that's fantastic for Marco. Drove a fantastic race, was aggressive when he needed to be, timed everything right, and yeah, there's a boy with natural talent. That's some pretty good burnouts right there. Good for him. Good for him, and great for Andretti Autosport. Had a difficult Indianapolis. This is a great way to bounce back and create some momentum.
Gets the green flag. Here we go.
Wow. Dixon didn't waste any time getting in line when that spot opened, did he? He didn't want to go on the outside.
He definitely tucked in, and you could see Will Power's eager to get a good start. He doesn't want those Ganassi cars in front of him. Ganassi have got two teammates there to help, or a teammate to help, and he doesn't have that. That was a little love tap for the Penske teammates right there, just showing each other some friendship. But I've got to tell you, Dixon's going to pile the pressure on Power. He's desperate to get a win, and he's going to be doing everything he can.
The man who has made the greatest move, Dan Wheldon, not surprisingly, is Paul Tracy, who's gained 5 spots.
Oh, that man's on a mission. But you know what was very surprising to me was how they gave each other room going into turn 3 on that first lap. I was expecting.
Whoa! Just as you were saying.
Turning Canaan. Oh, and he's got damage. He's got damage. And I can guarantee you, being Brazilian, he's not very calm right now. It's pretty close, guys. They didn't give each other very much room. Briscoe's, just had to turn out because of a little bit of oversteer. That kind of pulled him away from the wall and caught him.
On Briscoe, I don't see any from that.
You'd be surprised. You can hit, as long as Briscoe hit another car square, and you'd be surprised if you hit square, you can actually hit a car in front of you. Not that I've done this, guys. I'm just saying. Yes, I'm just saying. You can hit a car pretty hard, and it doesn't do too much damage. And Bob, I think James Hinchcliffe and Oriol Servia, both Newman Haas cars, they seem, very good over a long run. The warm-up was promising for them, and here we go for a double file restart.
Green comes out once again.
And look at Conway. He's going to try for the inside. Oh, no, Scott just shut the door there.
And look at Franchitti try to take third from
he's got it.
Conway, and he does.
He nearly got around his teammate, too.
Yeah.
He was pushing the envelope. But we saw Dario in Iowa, fighter, doesn't like to sit behind, and he's not going to like Will Power leading. There's Marco going around the outside of Paul Tracy. That's a brave boy right there. Oh, and
now Tracy's on the outside.
Not much room there.
Yeah, and Paul Tracy won that battle, as I would have probably expected, to tell you the truth. Sometimes what can happen is when you sit very tight behind another car and you go to brake over those bumps, the car doesn't have that same level of downforce. It gets light, and unfortunately you run right into the back of the car in front.
And it is bumpy going into 3, and we saw yesterday during qualifying into turn number 8.
Guys, it's amazing. Your feet actually move around in the floor of the car. It's those changes of surface too, which not only, is it bumpy, but it takes away grip from the race car. And this is why the circuit is such a challenge. And Graham Rahal having a good race, staying with Mike Conway. He's been quick all weekend, and he's part of that Ganassi stable, so they're obviously very, very comfortable. And Mike Conway is going to be happy with where he's at right now. He's had a really tough run, has done a phenomenal job all weekend, and be kind of just letting the race play out and hopefully move forward with some pit stops. Boys, I can tell you, Vitor Meira is going to be looking in his mirror under braking for turn 3, because you never know where Tracy's going to come from. I can promise you that much.
Because the window opens, and they're hoping that sometime before the leaders pit, they get a caution.
And Jan, that's a great point. When you listen to Dario's on board, you can hear him feathering out of the throttle early down the straight into turn 3. Dario's saving fuel. He's sitting there comfortable. He's probably hoping he can go longer than those other two and make up that track position.
But it sounds like it might be a fuel thing.
He's saving fuel. You can just hear it's very gentle with his foot to the power, but also coming off. This is the guy that's the best at saving fuel in the paddock, in my opinion. Guys, and I can tell you, Scott Dixon is pressuring Will Power. We're not sure exactly how those reds are going to last, and if Scott piles the pressure on Will, maybe his tires will go away first. So that's an interesting point and the storyline to follow. Justin Wilson's phenomenal around this track. Been very, very successful. See, you can hear him lifting out the power too. bumpiest corner on the racetrack there. Car very, very nervous. You know, it's very easy to lock tires, particularly as they start to wear. And that's a shame for Takuma. At Iowa, he was strong. Here, he was perhaps not as strong as he would like, but he was still reasonable with a long way to go in the race and just can't quite close on a race weekend right now.
Alex Tagliani, who is still being pressured by Ryan Hunter-Reay.
And they were both on the push to pass there. So, Tagliani's feeling some heat. Hunter-Reay is going to want to be up with his teammate Mike Conway. It seems like he has a very good car. And they're going to feel vulnerable in that situation. But, I think a couple of the guys felt like they were being held up by Tagliani. And you saw the guys twist the knobs on the front wing. That's to add some front wing. Oh, that's close between Elio and Justin. And Justin gave him some room there. That's a sign of a professional race car driver. And that's 3 Ganassi cars in the top 5. So, obviously they've got a great package for this racetrack. And it seems as the race goes on, Rahal's getting stronger.
I mean, it is a thrill show as they slide through turn 1 because they go from concrete to pavement.
And Robin's absolutely right. It's very, very difficult as a driver. You've got to have extreme confidence in your race car because as soon as you change surfaces, the car just slides, and it's that confidence where you can carry that speed through and get on the power that really makes a huge difference with the lap time.
Did you have any moments in the Civic when you were in turn 1?
I have to be honest. In the practice run that I did, I nearly lost it. I couldn't believe it. I was getting too excited, but yeah, I was going through the fast right-hand kink, and you can push that thing. It gives you great confidence, but then I kind of ran out of road. And
speaking of getting sideways, here's Paul Tracy.
There's the king of sideways, right there. Yeah, these cars really do. I mean, they've got just under 700 horsepower. As the tires start to wear, the bumps, it becomes a handful. And one thing I noticed about James Hinchcliffe, he was on the reds. Everybody else is on the blacks. He's got to make these laps count. He's got to use that extra grip to try and pass some cars, and he could be a contender. Now, I don't know if
the pit stops.
Sorry, I don't know if our screen's correct, but Power was on that overtake later than Dixon, so he was lucky there. I thought Scott would kind of force the issue, but Scott has been on fantastic form all weekend. He's been dancing that car around over the bumps, and that boy wants to win bad. There's no doubt about it.
Power may be struggling a little bit right now because Dixon's car does look better.
I think you're absolutely right, but what we've got to touch on is how...
and that's the caution.
Will Power is not Tagliani's friend right now.
No.
And vice versa.
These two guys just got burned.
Guys, and what a track this is. It bodes for some great racing. This is really going to change it up. We've got double file restarts. Guys, and guess what? Elio took out Paul Tracy a year or 2 ago. Now he's taken out another Canadian. This is going to be unbelievable.
But he took somebody out and caused the yellow, and his teammate was leading, which is the one thing they didn't want.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Is this going to be happy families in the Penske camp?
That's a train wreck.
Guys, and we've got to say, Elio Castroneves and Ryan Briscoe, they are great race car drivers. Will Power is doing an exceptional job. He's out-qualifying them by a big margin, so credit to him. But, you can never discount Elio. That guy's a fighter, and obviously Ryan Briscoe, like I say, is very talented too.
That's going to put Dario Franchitti up into the lead.
And that's going to make Will Power extremely upset.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what we get to see? Paul Tracy on a double file restart. Guys, this is well worth watching.
And Paul Tracy, who already pitted, so he's going to move way up the order.
Servia's a sleeper. He's always there at the end. He's doing a fantastic job. He's been out the car for a couple of years, really come back, taking this opportunity with open arms and doing a great job for the team. And that goes to show what a great team Newman Haas is also. And we're only on lap 35 of 85, and you look at the marbles offline. As these leaders have to pick through some of the cars, you see Will Power and Scott Dixon. They've got to overtake. When they get on that, they lose grip, and that becomes very risky, particularly when you're fighting for a championship, and the guy leading the championship is leading the race too. So you've got to force the issue, and that's what Scott and Will Power are going to have to do. Guys, and look at
a little contact there.
Andretti getting by Vito. Hildebrand gets pushed wide by Dixon. And the problem is that's allowed Paul Tracy to close on in behind Ryan Briscoe. So, he's going to have his mirrors full of a good Canadian that's desperate to get up front.
And Scott Dixon moving up.
Conway. Vito Mira. And there's Paul Tracy on the inside of Hinchcliffe, and he just... Oh no!
Look at this.
Tracy never gives an inch, never. This is two Canadians.
Yeah, look out!
Oh, Tracy.
Boy, I think he saved that thing. He may have a little bit of damage on the wing, but boy, what a save.
Man.
Yeah.
That front wing.
Yes, he does.
Who said Canadians aren't competitive, huh?
Really?
Wow.
Guys,
And James Jake spins.
Guys, and one thing that's been very apparent, Scott Dixon has been on a mission. He's up to 7, so he really has made the most of this restart. Here's Paul Tracy in the pits.
Keep after it. It's not till right here.
And they just didn't give each other an inch. You could see, actually, Paul Tracy had contact with Briscoe as he was trying to stay on the inside of Hinchcliffe, and then, you know, obviously Hinchcliffe just didn't give him quite enough room. And Dixon knows he had to go forward on a restart. He did a phenomenal job. He's up to 6th place. You know, Will Power, he restarted in 12th, and in his only 11th. So Scott really capitalized on that, and, you know, he's going to feel better having less cars around him on this next double file restart. Randy's looking very smart. Randy Bernard is, you know, with these double file restarts, he's really spiced up the racing, certainly here at Toronto. Guys, and as we're on board with Briscoe here, I'm not sure Ryan Hunter-Reay has pitted for a new front wing. I could be wrong here, but I'm surprised he's not making the most of this yellow. There's Paul Tracy leaving the pit lane. I hope for James Hinchcliffe's sake he is nowhere near him. And you can just see, like, when you get on the power in these cars over those bumps, it really kicks around. It's this is one of the most physical racetracks. You've got to be on point all the time. It's very easy to lose a car over the bumps, and particularly as the tires get worn. And you've got to be on your game on these double file restarts. It's truly a spectacle for the fans watching. A lot of these guys, you see them back and forth with the wheel, trying to clean up the tires, and you know, that becomes very important when you've got a heat cycle on them.
And Alex Tagliani in 3rd position. And you were at Goodwood, Dan, and I want to get this in because you talked with Nigel Mansell.
Yeah, I had a great time with him, and you know what's great about Nigel, he understands how competitive the IndyCar Series racing is, you know, what great racetracks we go to, and he's a huge fan. Guys, IndyCar racing this year is so good to watch. We had a great race at Iowa. We've come to the streets of Toronto, totally different racetrack, totally different area, and look, the racing is still as good as ever. It's great to watch.
Now, is Hunter-Reay's car going to turn with that wing like that?
Now, he's going to be light on front downforce, and, you know, it shows how competitive the series is. They don't want to give up the track position. Dario's on that overtake, but we're getting to the interesting corner, guys. Let's see what happens.
Watch Scott Dixon try.
Going around the outside of Scott.
Wow, that was strong.
And Justin Wilson up the inside of Serbia. Phenomenal move right there. Absolutely excellent move.
Right, Hunter-Reay takes advantage of that.
Oh, Saavedra.
Saavedra's off course.
He looks like he's got right front damage, so he's obviously got in a skirmish with somebody. He took Serbia by surprise there.
Yeah.
And then, look, watch this. He dives right down the inside. Right at the last minute.
Perfect. Perfectly done.
That was a beautifully executed move. It really was. And he's pressuring Dario now.
Hunter-Reay is hanging tough right there with that wing falling off.
And this is where he's going to struggle in this fast section here, where the front downforce, he needs it. This is the point where he's just the car's going to be difficult.
Wow.
You can see that left front just hanging down, but I'm surprised he's doing as well as he's doing right now with it, but it's going to get worse. Here's Dixon. Dixon's getting underneath Marco Andretti.
Starting to see some smoke off that left front on Hunter-Reay's car, too.
And then Conway down the inside of Briscoe.
Yep.
I thought Dixon was going to have a go, Andretti. I'm on the edge of my seat again. Oh, there's Will Power going down the inside of Vitor Meira. And it goes to show you, though, with looking at Briscoe's position, he was the one that got into Canaan at the beginning, you know, and he's still up there. Things can change very quick on these road courses. Guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing this replay.
Yeah, this could be good.
He was singing thank you very much right there. Yeah. Beautiful. 3 spots.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It just shows you in these IndyCar races, you just can never give up. You never know how the race is going to play out.
I think they short-filled power to pick up the track position.
Oh, okay.
They didn't give him all the fuel.
All right.
I like your sayings, Jan. I've never heard that one.
Everybody's moved away, and everything is in good shape right now.
I'm not sure the drivers' relationships are in good shape right now.
Yeah, right.
There's been some heat during this race, and we still got a little ways to go. And the one thing Power's going to like to see is he's pretty close to Dario. There was a big gap between them. That was a big point spread. That's closed it up a little, and he's probably going to feel a little better.
Watch Viso.
Tagliani didn't give him much room.
Tagliani's a lap car. He's 19th, 1 lap down.
He's going to be trying hard to get that lap back. Oh, and he's a lap down, but he's forcing the issue.
Oh, man.
Oh, he tries to stay there, and he does it.
He did it.
Wow.
Good for you.
That was an impressive move. Ram Rahal didn't want to let him by, but, Tagliani forced the issue in a respectful manner and completed the pass.
Here's E.J. Viso trying to get to the inside of the wheel.
I thought he was just about going to spoil the weekend there. I gave him a tough time on the ovals, but, he's done a good job today and stayed out of trouble for the most part. Hopefully he'll be able to complete it.
Damn, that's the kiss of death on Viso.
I knew you were going to say that too. Guys, and Power has got ahead of Franchitti, and then Franchitti has got Dixon behind him. This could get really interesting.
Will's pressing the issue.
And he's on the button. He was on the button right there and completes the pass. Dario's going to have to get by Simona quick. He's not going to want to let Will Power get down the road. Oh, it's
Briscoe.
Wow. Briscoe was 11th.
Briscoe's had a tough day. He's been into some...
Yeah. Oh, and Mike Conway is involved.
We might have to get Briscoe some security out of this racetrack.
Full course.
And Castro Neves is 4 laps down, so he's pressuring Viso. So Viso's not going to want to get too involved with this one.
Here comes Dario.
Oh, those are unbelievable! The championship contenders.
And Power gets the worst of it.
Oh, that was not Power's fault.
Wow.
And he's stalled. Yep. He needs to be restarted. Guys, can I give you my take on this? And you're going to say, what are you thinking? Dario has huge respect for Will Power and vice versa. And it almost looked like Dario was going to have a go and then kind of backed out. And because of that, indecision, they just touched. I don't think it was anything malicious. It was just one of those things.
Well, let's take a closer look. This is very similar to what we saw between Briscoe. In fact, he's nowhere close, though. See, Power...
It's almost exactly the same.
Yeah, but Power didn't give him room because, Franchitti was far enough back to where he's thinking, okay, well, he's at this point, okay, I'm clear. I can go to the apex.
Guys, and you could see he was looking in his mirror for Dario.
Yeah.
You see his head just turns, more to the right, and he obviously, like you say, didn't give quite enough room.
Now, what you have to wonder is if race control will give Franchitti a penalty for that as avoidable contact.
Yep.
I'm sure Penske will be pushing for that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that the Penske team will want to see something done. I really think it was just one of those things. Dario thought about it, then tried to get out of it, and it was just, a little bit too late. And Brian Barnhart's been incredibly busy today. He's earning his keep. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
As we see one to go at the line. Yep. Guys, on these restarts, watch the pole sitter. They really want kind of to get close to the car beside them coming onto the straight so they're not in the marbles. They don't want to be picking up marbles. That's unfortunate for him. He was having a good race.
Yep.
Remember, that was a kiss of death.
Oh, there's Marco down the inside of Servia.
That's a battle for 6th.
Guys are picking on Servia today, huh? Right at the last minute.
And Hinchcliffe is up there also. He's 8th.
Guys, and I'm not seeing Dario pit yet, so I wonder if Chip Ganassi is arguing that decision.
Well, they give you a few laps, but he's not going to win that battle. And watch the front wing. It'll be right. That's it.
Yep.
And when you see that kind of wiggle on a front wing, that's going to cut down a tire.
And you got to give Justin Wilson credit there. He tried to get out of it. EJ hadn't seen him, and he was doing everything he could. You can't blame him for that one. And you can see Dario. Dario's really closing in on Hunter Ray, and he's on the button. He's on the push to pass, the Honda push to pass, and I think he's going to complete the move. And Hunter Ray did a good job there. He knew Dario had a run. He didn't try and stay around the outside and risk, contact. So that was pretty impressive. Guys, and I hate to say this, but the penalty with Dario becomes a moot point right now. Whether you agree with it or not, really it's not going to make a huge difference to the championship swing.
Well, it would if he won the race, as opposed to having a drive-through and maybe finished in mid-pack. I mean, that could make
or not getting hit at all.
In
the first place.
It'd be interesting to see who hit it.
Yeah.
But he can't be quite as racy as the two target cars because he hit it so much earlier.
I think he should be a strategist too. I'm pretty impressed. I got to be honest. The one thing that Will can't do, there's still plenty of races left. He's got a great team. He's a phenomenal talent. He's got a lot of street and road courses coming up. He's strong on them. He's strong on the ovals. As soon as he regains his focus and thinks about it, he's still not out of this.
3.0, 3.0.
Dario's got him. He's got him, and Dixon's got Hunter Ray too. That's Marco going around the outside of
more cut. Oh,
when a
goodness
car
sakes.
almost upside down. Wow.
This has been an unbelievable race. It really has. Guys, and I don't know if you want to know, this is kind of a useless fact, but it's they've actually put new fencing around this racetrack. So, they're constantly striving to improve safety, but also, create a good spectacle. And, that's something that should be mentioned.
Whoa! Oh! Wilson!
Serbia.
And several involved. Wow.
Man, this race is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
It is crazy.
And I really haven't seen a race like this in a long time. It's unbelievable. And like you always say, the cautions breed cautions.
They sure have today.
Man, they're all fighting for real.
Wow, look at the parts flying.
Dallara have done very well out of this race, I can assure you that.
This is J.R. Hildebrand.
Actually, he got quite lucky with that.
I think we've set a record today.
Good bet.
I think the pace cars led the most laps of this race. Yeah, I would say the pace cars led the most laps, and Dallara's the winner.
Yeah.
With all the parts that I've seen damaged. And guys, what was interesting on that restart was the three Ganassi cars, Dario Franchitti, Scott Dixon, and Graham Rahal. They all pretty much went into turn one locked up. That was pretty intense. There's definitely no team orders there. You see Dario, he gives Rahal room. He knows he's looking. Rahal's going in deep, and Scott just locks up the right front. And let's see these guys duking it.
Oh, yeah.
Dario has one push to pass left. Scott Dixon has three. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
when you got Scott Dixon in your mirrors, you're worried. He's obviously got a good car, as have both of them, but he's hungry, real hungry. And Scott's going to know that Dario's not going to want to push the envelope. He's dodged a bullet already so far this race, and if Scott gets down there inside, I got a feeling Dario's going to give the corner to him. Guys, I'm on the edge of my seat. You just don't know what's going to happen, do you, in this race? Now, will Ryan Hunter-Ray get a penalty?
No, I think
I was just messing, I promise. And Marco Andretti's had a good race. In fourth, I believe he started around 20th, and another top five.
Last lap.
Yeah, they're both on the overtake. Team Penske are not going to be happy with this result, seeing a 1-2.
Let me say, first of all, that, Dan, it's been great having you with us for the past 3 races, and good job, and I know you enjoyed this.
Yeah, I very much appreciate the opportunity to you and all the staff that form this production. It's been different looking at it from this angle, but like I say, it's been like a great experience. But this race, I mean, wow. It's been phenomenal. The IndyCar races just to watch recently have been absolutely mind-blowing, and excited for the rest of the races. But I want to thank all of you and all the viewers back at home. It's really been very, very good fun.